On your Fast Track to 7, a popular downtown Fargo bar is under fire from the city's Liquor Control Board over underage kids drinking. The board was following up with District 64 yesterday, but the bar owners say they're being held to a different standard than other establishments.
Owners and staff say that they're doing what they can, but minors are continuing to use fake IDs and are finding more creative ways to get in. They say people can order a fake ID for about $100 with their real names and addresses, and the quality pretty good too. District 64 says to combat this, they bought an ID scanner and security staff wear body cameras at all times. District 64 says anyone caught with a fake is then blacklisted, meaning that they're no longer allowed in the establishment.
Every person who walks in is also wanded with a metal detector and then has their ID scanned. And then the bouncer will check the list to make sure that person has not been blacklisted. Still, the Liquor Control Board decided that District 64 violated Fargo code and that the owners must pay a $500 fine.
Time now for a look at our storm team forecast as we send things over to meteorologist Lisa Green this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Today we're looking at rain being our greatest concern for being out and about here for today. And our rain chances for the next few days are going to be highest during the daytime hours. We're talking about widely scattered some showers and some thunder showers potentially this afternoon. And then into tonight that starts to taper off. But Friday, even in the northern valley, we have a chance for an isolated shower or two. Once we get through that, we're looking at some quieter weather heading into the weekend. So let's take a look at the rain that we're tracking here. You can see anywhere on the map here, we've got at least a little bit of green in northwest Minnesota and in eastern North Dakota. A couple of us, again, have had a little bit of lightning and thunder from time to time. Let's move in a little bit closer. We're looking at conditions that are going to be on the rainier side right now, south of Castleton, back down toward the Lisbon area. Fargo-Moorhead, we're seeing a little bit of rain starting to move back into the metro. It looks pretty light, but still might have you turning on your windshield wipers on that morning drive. Detroit Lake, some showers in and around the region, and back over into Jamestown, some rain pushing into town as we speak. Northern Valley, looking at some conditions that are have been on the more stormy side in places like Thief River Falls. Looks like those showers are moving off to the east. And then Grand Forks seeing a little break, though there's some sprinkles in the vicinity. And then Devil's Lake, a little bit of rain moving in there as well. Speaking of Grand Forks, wind a little bit stronger right in the heart of the valley. Fargo, Grand Forks have both seen some winds gusting into the 20s this morning, mainly out of the south. We're looking at temperatures ranging from 47 in Bemidji to 61 in Devil's Lake, and some upper 50s in Fargo and Grand Forks right now. And we'll warm from there. Looking at our bus stop forecast, we've got chances for rain again into the afternoon, temperatures into the 70s, and there's that potential for a thunderstorm. So whether you're heading out to school for Big Iron today, make sure you're ready for some of that rain passing by. And then the weekend looking pretty good. We're going to be into the low 70s for highs on Saturday, especially on the cooler side, and some crisp fall mornings into some 40s both Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, thank you, Lisa.
Time now is 6:54. The feud over school resource officers ticking up again after more than 30 departments pulled out of schools over concerns with the new state law. Law enforcement agencies say a law about the use of force passed as part of an education bill last session leaves them open to potential lawsuits.
They've been calling for a special session, but one of the state's top lawmakers says there's no need for one. Adam Duxter explains why.
Another week, another press conference. This time, the Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association continuing a call for a special session over what they call an ambiguous law.
The fact that there is so much disagreement or open to interpretation between all these attorneys tell us that the ambiguity in the application of law is something that needs to be addressed.
It's a difficult job to be a peace officer.
Speaker of the House, Melissa Hortman, says one of the association's major concerns, that this law creates different rules for an officer in or out of school, isn't true.
Whether inside the school as an SRO or outside the school as a peace officer, the standard for their conduct is the same.
Counsel for the MPPOA
Bluntly, that assessment's wrong.
doesn't see it that way.
If you look at the new law and the way that it is drafted and the intention of the legislature, whoever brought this language in, it does create two different standards. There's no other way around it.
People can find ambiguity in statutes that we think are pretty straightforward, and we spend a lot of time and energy at the legislature to make the law as clear as we possibly can. This legislative change had about 10 different arguments. No one raised a single objection.
Hortman says she'd be open to a special session should police and lawmakers come to an agreement on language that's more clear. Until then, she says the League of Minnesota Cities not changing their insurance coverage for SROs is a sign to her this law leading to a lawsuit is unlikely. Adam Duxter, WCCO News.
The police officers group says it has been in contact with Governor Walz and that he indicated he's still considering that special session. Charges now being investigated against a pickup driver who hit and killed a woman in South Fargo. It's a story we first broke for you yesterday on the Valley Today. That crash happened just before 6 a.m. at the intersection of 13th Avenue and 32nd Street. Police say a 68-year-old Fargo woman was crossing the westbound lanes of 13th Avenue when she was hit. That pickup driver was traveling west and was in the middle of 3 lanes. The pedestrian was near a marked crosswalk. The driver of that truck, a 63-year-old man, also from Fargo. The North Dakota Highway Patrol identifying the victim of a plane crash in Grand Forks County as 33-year-old Tyler Johnson. His crop duster went down Tuesday afternoon near the town of Ardagh. No word on what led to that crash.
A man listed as a sex offender is facing new charges in Cass County. Eduardo Cavazos Jr. is accused of gross sexual imposition involving a young girl. Court documents say a teacher notified a school resource officer after a student made notes on a class project about being touched inappropriately by Cavazos. Cavazos Jr. is now on probation for a separate sexual assault case. A Fargo Elementary private school employee who is accused of possessing child pornography appears to be back out on the streets. 25-year-old Joshua Bowman is no longer listed on the Cass County Jail roster after bond was set yesterday at $10,000. He is an after-school program coordinator at Trinity Catholic Elementary and a substitute teacher who also used to work at Legacy Elementary in West Fargo. Court documents say investigators started looking into him after the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children got a report of suspicious activity coming from his own personal Snapchat account. We have a heads up for drivers on I-94 and Highway 10 in Moorhead next week. The state DOT closing lanes in both directions Monday through Thursday for some bridge inspections.
This will start on westbound I-94 at the Red River Bridges. It will switch to the eastbound side on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, inspectors will be looking at the Main Avenue Veterans Memorial Bridge downtown. Crews will also be working at Buffalo River Bridges throughout the entire week. These inspections are performed every 2 years to check for changes to the bridge structure. NDSU celebrating Constitution Day today with a public talk on opportunity in America.
David Bobb is president of the Bill of Rights Institute and speaking at 4 this afternoon at Memorial Union. The event is free and open to the public. The National Toy Hall of Fame at the Strong Museum announcing 12 finalists for the induction into the Hall of Fame. They're baseball cards, Battleship, Bingo, Bop It, Cabbage Patch Kids, and a Choose Your Own Adventure book.
Also on the list, Connect 4, Ken, the Cozy Coop, some Nerf toys, slime, and some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You at home, fans can vote on their favorites through September 20th.
The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We so appreciate your viewership. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Ashlyn Hill.
And I'm Jordan Schreier. Have a great day.